Phoenix Splash TV. The winner of the first Musician Spotlight poll was decisively Kamijo. Be sure to like the Facebook and follow us on Twitter to see who's going to be in the next upcoming poll, like the new First Impression poll. If you vote on Facebook or Twitter, the vote counts twice. Anyways, let's get on with the video. When it comes to top Japanese composers, I have to put an artist known as Kamijo on the list. As far as visual kei composers go, he's in my top 3 at this point in time, and is hands down my favorite composer within the band Versailles. Sorry, Hizaki. Everything about Kamijo is unique, from his stage presence to his vocals and to his charisma. Unique and underrated are 2 words I would use to describe this treasure of a musician. Kamijo was born into a musical family on July 19, 1975, either in the Hiratsuka Kanagawa Prefecture or Tokyo, Japan, depending on where you're researching. His mother and grandmother were both piano players, and his grandfather was allegedly a violinist. His musical career actually began with another visual kei band called Malice Miser, which featured another big-time Japanese artist named Gact. Kamijo was a roadie for the band and would help set up equipment. Within Malice Miser, he met a guitar player by the name of Mayu. Together, they decided to form a band. This is the name of the band. You think I'm bad at pronouncing Japanese? You don't want to see me pronounce French. Smartly, the band shortened their name to Laline, which was the only word in the title that I was having trouble pronouncing. And they found other members and began to play on the indies. Laline would get some recognition and be noticed for their Baroque pop style composition. The band experimented with many genres, and this acted as a proving ground for Kamijo's composition skills. The band would eventually be renamed again to La Rien. During the band's hiatus, Kamijo would go on to form a short-lived band called New Sodomy. Within a year, the band released 2 albums. New Sodomy would eventually disband in 2003 when La Rien decided to regroup. However, in 2007, La Rien would meet the same fate and disband. After they disbanded, they decided to rename the band Raylene, which came from the jumbled up letters of the previous band name. I'm kidding, but renaming the band so much probably did not do any favors for them. But Kamijo was not finished. Within that same year, he met a guitar player and composer named Hizaki. Together, along with other musicians, they would create the band known as Versailles, and the rest is, as they say, history. There was a point in Versailles where the future wasn't clear, and as a result, they went on a hiatus. Many fans, including myself, thought it was because Kamijo wanted to pursue a solo career. The band would eventually reunite, and as of this video, Kamijo still sings with Versailles as well as pushes his own solo endeavors further and further. Like I mentioned before, to me, Kamijo is one of the greatest composers, not only in Japanese rock, but in all of rock and roll. Much like his co-composer Hizaki and other neoclassical composers, he mixes that Baroque style with his take on metal, and incorporates choirs, synthesizers, and an entire orchestra. Everything I like about music composition, he seems to incorporate into his music. Key changes, original motifs, tempo changes, counter melodies. I could keep going on and on. His compositions are packed with so much, and none of it feels forced. One of my favorite songs from him is the Aristocrats Symphony, which is one of Versailles' most popular songs. My favorite piece of all time by Kamijo thus far is definitely God Palace. Though it doesn't get the credit it deserves, it embodies what a masterpiece is. The foreshadowing motifs in the guitar to vocals, and the next part, there's an interesting rhythmic groove going on in the drums and bass, and a counter melody within the guitars that goes along with the main melody in the vocals. The 6/8 rhythmic dance part, and of course the ending, but I won't spoil that because it's one hell of a build-up. There are two recordings of this song, one on his solo work and one with Versailles. Even though his solo recording of it is a higher quality, it loses the interaction between the guitar and vocal melodies. If you want to hear that foreshadowing motif, then you'll have to hear it in the Versailles recording, which is why I'm one of the few fans who prefer that version. But speaking of his solo work, he's done quite a bit. Many of them follow the same genre as Versailles, with some twerks in instrumentation. One of my favorite ones is Nosferatu. When it gets to the chorus, listen to how he utilizes the female choir, piano, and his own voice. This instrumentation choice creates a huge organic harmonization that I haven't really heard in any other songs. His most recent solo album included the 16-year-old Japanese pop star known as Hatsune Miku. When I heard the announcement, I was a bit confused, but after hearing the songs, I thought it was pretty cool. It's kind of cool to hear the Vocaloid sing in Kamijo's signature vocal style. While many singers take the extreme approach to neoclassical metal and this type of music, Kamijo takes a more technical and proper approach to vocals, using more traditional techniques than a normal singer of the genre. Even when he's pumping the crowd, he uses falsetto rather than using his chest. It's a clever way of warming up his voice. And of course, I have to mention his lyrics, which are also underrated and really unique. He talks about social hierarchies, love, religion, and even historical events. In one of his solo pieces, he talks about the outlaw of castrados, which were little boy singers who were castrated before puberty to keep their high vocal range. And it's a pretty good song. One When I first heard Versailles, I actually didn't like Kamijo at first. The proper vocal style caught me off guard and I was used to hearing a brasher and louder sound. It wasn't until I started studying vocals that I started to appreciate his approach and appreciate the contrast and ultimately embrace Kamijo. When you look at any singer in music, the one thing they have to have most is guts, and for Kamijo to take such an approach to this style of music proves that he has what a castrato lacks. And I'm glad he's still making unique music today, and I'm always looking forward to what he does next. So that was Kamijo, one of Japan's greatest rock composers. His uniqueness and compositional style continues to grow to this day without any signs of slowing down. And whether he's writing for Versailles or doing his own solo work, I'm sure we're gonna get many more great songs. So what do you think of Kamijo? Will you check him out? Have you heard of him? Leave it all in the comments below. And don't forget to participate in the latest poll of first impressions on the Phoenix Splash Twitter and Facebook. And like, follow, and tweet this video to Kamijo and all that great jazz. And anyways guys, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching. This is Josh the Music Man, signing off.